Well, hello everyone, and we're so glad you're here today viewing something that we feel is going to be very impactful in your life. And I'm joined today with CEO Jill Borowitz of SafeSpace here on the Treasure Coast. How are you, Jill?
I'm good, Danny. How are you?
You know, I'm excited. This is we're in our month of October, and ladies and gentlemen and children that are watching, domestic violence is pretty prevalent in our society today. And what SafeSpace is about, what you're about to hear, hopefully will change your view and how you can impact with us and change lives of those that are domestically hurt, fearful, and looking for change in their life, mainly women and children. The children are connected to women. And Domestic Violence Month is October. And one of our colors for October is purple. And, you know, it brings the awareness of what we want to give back through SafeSpace. And you know, this is a funding campaign that we're on right now. This is a month that we're going to push hard for your contributions, for your support, and as we give you awareness of what SafeSpace is all about. So with that note, Jill, tell me a little bit about our mission statement and what you feel as, I mean, this has been what, 13, 14 years for you at the helm.
Actually, I think the more interesting figure is that we are in our this marks our 39th year.
Wow.
We're moving into our 40th year of saving and changing lives on the Treasure Coast. So we have a very long legacy of this work. And I have actually been here just about 11 years. So
this is a blended month of nationally, though, isn't it?
It is. It's National Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Yes.
Awareness Month, and I didn't know that was so long in the Treasure Coast. So wow, that is fantastic. Where do you see SafeSpace today? I mean, what's you know, we're upcoming, ladies and gentlemen, on our holiday months, and our shelters fill up. They max out, don't they, Jill? And why do they?
Well, I would say, you know, the population comes and goes in our shelter. We work with about 3,500 victims of domestic violence every year on the Treasure Coast, which is a lot. And at any given point in time, I would say close to half of that are children who are also victims, silent victims we call them, because they're kind of caught in the crosshairs, if you will, of the violence that's going on between the adults in the household.
So when we have an adult come into the shelter, it's predominantly women. We're seeing an uptick for men in the journey of domestic violence because it is happening. But for us, it's been more of the female persuasion coming in, and that's connected to that our children. And children play a big role in their journey ahead of how they're going to be treated, how they're going to be counseled as the mother comes in and or participant comes in, isn't it?
That's
And
right.
we have programs set up to help that, don't we?
We do. We actually have 24/7 hotlines in all 3 counties, so we're very highly accessible, and anyone in our area who might call the statewide emergency hotline would be automatically diverted to our center. We are one of 42 certified domestic violence centers in the state of Florida.
So certification is a key word, isn't it?
It is because it's a very long process of instilling best practices and doing due diligence and certain types of training requirements for staff and volunteers and board members. And there's a whole slew of things that a domestic violence organization has to complete in order to be certified by the state. And we are one of 42 in the state. We're the only one on the Treasure Coast. We serve Martin, St. Lucie, and Indian River counties.
So those are the 3 counties, Martin, St. Lucie, and Indian River counties. So all of you are involved in this.
We actually began 39 years ago just in Indian River County, and then moved into St. Lucie shortly thereafter, and then into Martin County. So just in the time frame that I've been here, as I said, just about 11 years, we've gone from having 2 programs to having 13 programs.
Wow.
So that serve domestic violence, and everybody thinks we're just a shelter. I've heard that all the time. Well, you do shelter for victims, right? You're just a shelter, but we're much more than a shelter. In fact, we serve 2/3 of the victims that we serve are served in our other programs, which are
That's a transitional facility as well.
well, that's one of the other
Is that
programs, but the majority of our programs are community-based
community-based?
outreach type programs where victims who choose not to leave their homes, their batterer may be in jail or have left, or maybe they've gone to a friend's house or a family member's home, or they have the means to secure their own housing, but they just need help.
Sure.
And so
Sure.
they call our hotline and we work with them. We've got some people in our outreach program that we've had there for 5 years, and they come whenever they need a little bit of support or assistance or help. They're struggling.
Can I ask you a question
Sure.
on that hotline? By the way, ladies and gentlemen, our hotline number is 772 288
7023.
7023. I always want to make sure we get it right, and of course,
Yes.
coming from the CEO. But why we say that is because if you're listening right now and you're watching this, and someone in your family or someone close to you, and I get choked up a lot of times when I get to this place in my journey, Jill, because I've had my emotions of forms of domestic violence. You know, we put out today in Facebook, each day of October, you're going to see on our SafeSpace Facebook page a new article, something written, and we want all of you to read those and then share those with your family. And today really broke it down, and I'm just going to share this about the emotional side of where domestic violence really begins in people's lives and how we communicate or how we try to persuade our spouse or someone close to you, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, or whatever you're entangled in. And it begins a lot with our conversations, doesn't it, about control.
Well,
Insecurities.
domestic violence is about one person in an intimate relationship exerting some form of power and control over the other
So
person.
power and control.
And it can be physical power. It can be emotional power, which is sometimes more destructive than a
Damaging.
physical attack. It can be verbal. It can be financial abuse. This is a very
Big time financial.
large proportion of the victims that we serve have had no control over their finances, have had their finances actually abused by their batterers who take out loans in their names and then ruin their credit. It can be geographic abuse where they're actually moved. We've had victims moved by their batterers across the United States just to keep them from friends and family. Same thing locally. They'll be isolated in their homes. Their keys are taken. They have no access to cell phones. I mean, I could go on and on.
You know, you shared a story, and I need to interrupt again, but there's I remember this so clearly about certain individuals that are caught in this whirlwind, this tornado, and they always think that it's going to get better. It's going to be all right. Next week, next month, I'm going to hang in there another 6 months. And that peace that they're wishing and hoping for only escalates on the backside where it blows up to a physical or it blows up to a real separation. And, you know, you spoke of finances. And at this point, again, we want to come back and ask for your pledge, ladies and gentlemen, because if you heard Jill speak about 13 programs from 2 programs. You heard about 35,000 women that have been and or participants. And it's shocking because didn't you give like 7,000?
3,500. Let me just say
3,500, I'm sorry.
35,000 is a lot.
3,500, my apologies. But didn't you say something that you gave 7,500 some hours of participant hours this past year? Some of the numbers I was looking at in support.
It's supportive counseling, yes.
Yeah, and there's my number, 7,561. I want to be exact because it's true. You know, they were provided with 3,000 detailed safety plans.
Yes.
Yes.
That's a lot of what we do
break that down.
is because
what does that mean?
Our primary purpose is safety.
Safety.
I mean, if victims of domestic violence cannot be safe, then everything else really has no bearing. They have to be safe first. They have to feel safe first before they can even begin to think about getting a job or finding a house or transportation or daycare for their children. They have to feel safe. So our primary purpose is safety.
Beautiful.
And that's what we focus on. So in order to do that, the first thing we do when someone calls the hotline, we will safety plan with them. We'll develop a safety plan with them on the hotline based on what's happening in their lives and what their needs are. And we will tell them, you know, there are very specific things, which I'm not going to go into here because, again, that would be,
Sure.
you know, sharing information, giving information that certain people don't need to have. Let's just leave that there. So we give them very specific, detailed information about their own safety, the safety of their children, and how to escape safely if they need to.
Wow.
Because probably the most important thing people need to understand is that when a victim leaves, her risk of serious or lethal injury from their batterer increases by 75%. Wow. If you look at domestic violence homicides, the majority of them happen after a victim leaves that relationship. Batterers tell victims all the time, if you leave, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill your parents.
Strong
I'll
words.
kill the animals. You'll never have the children. If they're in this country illegally, perhaps, you'll be deported, and I'll make sure you're deported. So these are all means of control. And I'm going to tell you that when you hear these things over and over as a victim of domestic violence, you believe it. And if you read the stats, and even in our state, in Florida, in the past week, there have been 5 murder-suicides due to domestic violence.
Did you hear that, ladies and gentlemen?
And all 5 of them occurred after separation, after the victim left. So people always ask that question, why doesn't she just leave? Well, this is a lot of times why.
That's very tragic.
And I want to say
Very
this
tragic.
too. You know, we need to reframe the question from why doesn't she leave to why does the batterer batter or abuse? What's going on that is driving this person to have the need to exert any kind of power and control over someone they supposedly care about or love? So, you know, that's really a national conversation, but we are also talking and doing a lot of work here in our area on those kind of questions.
I mean, you pulled in probably 5,000 to 6,000 referrals that have come in that I noticed, which is big. Interesting. What Jill just shared, can we transition into that transitional facility that we have? Because when our participants come in and they're battered and they're at that need of 911 and they came driving through those front gates, you know, and our team of professionals are there to hold, to crest, to counsel, to feed, to bed, and what that, I mean, just imagine the fear and that moment that young participant is caught up in. And so the transitional facility up in, you know, another neck of the woods that we have is vital to get our participants out back on their feet, correct?
Yes. Well, the transitional program is a program that is really, I believe it's one of a kind in the state right now, in that it is what we saw many years ago. We looked at victims or participants who were choosing to return to their batterers after coming in our shelter. And what we found was the largest population of people who decided to return were women 45 to 65, no children, and no access to resources. That age group are not eligible for welfare, for food stamps, for any kind of assistance whatsoever. They're not old enough for Social Security or Medicare or anything else. So they tended to return to their batterers mainly for financial reasons. It was either that or live in the woods. Okay. So what we decided was we moved all of our emergency services, shelter services under one roof, and we used our other shelter, what had been an emergency shelter in Indian River County, to create a transitional living program, a more long-term program option.
Beautiful.
For women who don't have children. We have programs in our community for women who do have children, have nothing for women without children. And it has actually been in operation for 4 years now.
Fantastic.
And we've run probably close to 100 women through that program. Some women need the full 18 months, some 2 years, some only a few months to get on their feet and move on into safe, independent housing.
So people, when you hear this, there's a dollar tag to all this. Okay, we talk about all that we have and all that we're doing, and it's amazing and it's strong, but we're growing and we need your help. Thus why we have the website that you're going to see flashing across the bottom, where we want you to type in and get on there. We have a donate button. Children, parents that are watching, if you have children that get allowances, 50 cents, a dollar, the tooth comes out and then they get 10 like my daughter did. Really? Yes, she did. So they can give a little bit, but let them give knowing what they're giving towards. You parents, you business owners, you community leaders, a $10 to 10,000 or more. We're looking to expand. We have needs daily that come in, okay? And we're putting the dollars to work. I would say probably 70 to 80% of the funds that come in go right back out, either into the participants, it goes into their well-being, yes, it goes into buildings, it goes into all the support infrastructure that you have just grown in the last 14 years. You know, I've known you 11 years, and I remember when you were working on the backseat of your car when things were almost closing, Jill, and I remember that moment was vital. That was a very transitioning point, whether SafeSpace was going to survive or was going to close its doors, and you were very successful with other nonprofits, okay? And I'm well aware of that, and you bring such tenure into this, and you grew this, and the support of our givers have grown this to a place where we're doing wonderful things in the community, and we're very proud of that. But ladies and gentlemen, don't take slight that this is growing. Domestic violence is not over. You look at it in the athletic world, you look at it in the movie world, the actors, you always hear a certain story, someone you put in the limelight, even in our court systems, even our judiciary, senators. It's everywhere. No one's, what's the word I want? Obsolete from this or immune from it. It's there. You may know someone, your neighbor. We're all connected. So we want to impact, we want to change, and your pledge is very important. It's very important for us to continue to survive and give back to the participants that are in dire need. And you're going to see some exciting things coming up on our website as well. I'm going to share it real quick. We do walk a mile in her shoes. Where's yours? Give me mine and hold it close to you. You see these red shoes? Guys like me will wear them, and we'll go out and walk in 3 counties. We're going to be doing a night walk in tradition. We're going to have one up in Indian River, and we're also going to have one in Martin County. So guys that are listening, get ready to show off your legs, show off those shoes. It's going to be in February, which is a love month. It's our Valentine's month, and so we're just going to dovetail into that with a beautiful walk. We're going to raise more funds. We're going to have fun while we do it. But the key is why we do it and where these funds are going and where the monies are going to be used.
A very wise benefactor of SafeSpace, probably the biggest benefactor we ever had, Douglas Stewart, once said that he could not think of a more important cause to invest in because we're saving lives every single day, and there can be nothing more important than saving a life and keeping them free of violence in our communities.
And on that note, we're going to show a quick little video clip. Pay attention.
This is not an easy effort, and it really is something, fighting domestic violence is something that requires everybody pitching in and helping. We have many organizations that are heavily invested in helping us be successful in creating safety for victims and children on the Treasure Coast. And we have so many donors that help us. I can tell you proudly that SafeSpace has one of the only domestic violence shelters in the state of Florida built totally through private donations. And that's a very proud thing for this community to be able to say. It's a legacy to victims of domestic violence that a lot of other communities don't have. And it also says that this community is heavily invested in this cause. And as such, it's a cause that constantly needs help financially. And most of our assistance comes through the private community. If we did not have that level of assistance, I'm really scared to even contemplate what that would mean for this organization. So it's something that we continuously need. There is no gift too small. I get children who have had lemonade stands that come in and they give me the profits from their lemonade sales. And we love those kind of ventures and those kind of partnerships. I think it says a lot, again, about the community. So if you're interested in being a part of this solution and helping us make sure our doors are open every day of the year, 24 hours a day, then go to our website or go to our Facebook page and help us out. Again, there is no gift too small. And remember this, you're investing in saving and changing lives. There is no greater purpose out there.
Well, welcome back, everyone, and I hope that video was impactful and it really moved you in a place that you really truly see what's happening at SafeSpace. And trust me, there's a lot more. And today I'm joined with three powerful board members, and I'm privileged, actually, as the president, to be with these three beautiful people: Joyce Page, Dr. Jack Mitchell, and Emelis Keeney. And I want to start with Joyce first. Joyce is our president-elect, and we're all excited about that. It's going to be a great journey. And so, Joyce, you've come on board as a board member and have been very active with us. And, you've been put into a chair position as well of the capital campaign fundraising. So maybe you can just give us a snapshot of what that's about for us at SafeSpace and why we want all of you out there to listen with this pledging. Get ready.
Absolutely.
So Joyce, take it away and give us a quick little 3-minute rendition.
Thanks so much, Danny. The capital campaign is something that we are going to be starting new this year because we have grown so much. We're serving more and more people, women and men, children in the community. And our outreach programs have just continued to grow exponentially. Mm-hmm. So the main focus of our capital campaign is going to be purchasing a building, so we can accommodate all of our growing services and just help more and more people in the community.
And you feel too, as CEO Jill always tells us, Jill's very cautious about how money is spent when they come in. And so when we have some ownership of buildings today and assets, we look at where we're renting and we look at those pieces and we say, and Jill says, look, if we can do this better and bring more under one roof and find that place in the community that's going to be a strategic spot where we can drop some rental costs and save money. That's really what this is about, isn't it, Joyce? And bringing that under one roof and really putting the money to use where we need to use it for the domestic participants that come in.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one factor of it, Danny. In addition to just having to have more space so we can accommodate our growth, it's having everybody under one roof. It's like in any business. If you've got it all consolidated, it functions more smoothly. Just the cost of the rent itself, it's much more manageable. Being able to own the building instead of just renting right now, there's just
perfect
rents all over the place.
And of course, Joyce is probably one of the top real estate agents in our community, and that gives us a lot of hope. And she's out there pounding it for us and looking and using her expertise to zero in till we do the right thing. And Joyce, thank you. And we're so happy you're here today. And we're going to move on to our next board member. And Dr. Jack Mitchell is an incredible guy. He's probably one of our tenured board members, 5-6 years now on board with SafeSpace, and has known Jill a long time. But Jack's, he's a mover and shaker in our community, and you guys may see him running down the street in his little Mercedes with his top down and his ball cap on any given day. And we love Dr. Jack at TCoast Studios. And Dr. Jack, you've been challenged with being the chairman of the major gift giving. And major gift giving falls in a lot of different places. So we're going to turn to you now and your expertise and let us know really what that's about for us.
Thanks, Danny. First of all, it's a pleasure absolutely to be here with you and two of my favorite board members. We have a great board. One of the things I'm just so excited about is the quality of the people we have on the board that really are dedicated to helping the cause of getting rid of this curse of domestic violence and to serving those people that are involved in domestic violence. Yeah, I'm myself, and I have a committee of great people. from the 3 different counties that we serve. And our focus is on what we call major gift giving. Major gift giving for us, and we want everyone to participate, whether you're a major child or a major adult, we want everyone to give. Yes. But the major gift giving are folks that have been blessed with some financial success in life. They're able to give a minimum of $5,000 to $500,000 or more to a particular cause. And we hope that you folks who have been blessed with some financial success will look in your hearts and look in your wallets and come forward and contact us and say, you know what, Dr. Jack, SafeSpace, I'd like to be able to participate in a significant fashion. God has blessed all of us with so many wonderful gifts. And one of the things I've found in my life, Danny,
yes, sir,
is that when we give, we get back so much. Now,
amazing.
We may not get back in dollars, although some of us have got back in dollars, and that's thanks to the Lord.
Beautiful gift, yes.
But we get back by being a better person. We get
Health.
back in health, in friendship. There's so many
Business.
different ways that we're blessed. So I'm asking you folks who have been blessed to become generous, to look in your hearts and say, what can you do to help? There's so many people that, I've been to our residences, and I've seen the women, I've seen their eyes. And what really got me, Danny, was when I saw the children.
Yeah.
And I saw the fear in the children's eyes they've been exposed to. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you have been blessed with financial success, please think of these women, think of these children, and some men that are also involved in this. But people that are involved in the scourge of domestic violence, we really want to help them. We want to be a positive asset to them.
Absolutely.
And we really do need your prayers. We need your awareness, but we also need your money. So if that's the case, please contact me directly or contact us at SafeSpace.
See our number going across the bottom on the website.
Good going, Danny.
Tag it. That's what you want to call in on.
Okay.
And, you can always reach Dr. Jack at TCoast Studios,
That's
too.
correct.
That's his real quote-unquote job.
As Danny says, if you see me driving in my little convertible with my...
Throw cash in it with the tops down. Throw a check in there or
just stop me, and I'm happy to meet with anyone. So God bless all of
Jack,
you, and
thank you.
We look forward to your participation. Thank you, folks.
Truly, thank you, Dr. Jack. That was well put, and we're honored to have you on the team. And we're going to move into our next board member, and Amelis Keeney. Wow, what a powerhouse when she came on board this year. And I tell you, if we could take the whole day and do a taping, we would, and it would probably be all on Amelis. But at the end of the day, she's been tasked as well as a chair, and her chair is of legacy giving, and the propensity of you that are out there. You're going to like this little piece that Amelis is going to give us. And she's in the financial sector, powerhouse in the community, her and her husband of Keeney and Financial. And so, Amelis, we're going to turn to you and kind of give us your little snapshot of what you felt and feel that you want to push legacy giving to for SafeSpace.
Well, yeah, no, and I appreciate how you guys received me with open arms, and how this is my first year with SafeSpace. So being received and help being led through this organization, it has been a blessing. One of the things that did it for me was actually seeing the facilities of where our victims stay and what their safe space is. And not only that, all the programs that we have to help these victims move forward in their lives. And to me, that was a huge success of the organization. But as a financial advisor, one of the things that I find very important is we have a short-term plan and short-term goals, but we also need the long-term sustainability of the organization. So that's one of the reasons why, along with our task force, we have developed a plan for legacy giving, for people who feel compelled to continuously help us throughout the next years that we have facing challenges ahead. So please include us in your will, your estate plan, your life insurance policy. Also training your children and your family to always give and make that a part of their essence and who they are. That's one of the things that I've seen in some of the successful families that I have worked with through the years in the financial industry, is parents teaching their children to not only learn about finances, but also learn how to give back through finances as well. And it starts with the $1.50, the piggy bank, to whatever amount is suitable and you feel compelled to do. But the reality is we need sustainability for the long term of the organization, and we cannot do that without the help of the communities. So I encourage you all to please consider giving to the Legacy program.
Wow, excellent, Amelis. And, spoken from a true tenured financial advisor. And, this is what it's about. It's about a group of individuals coming together and giving back to the community and serving the community like SafeSpace does. You got to understand, Jill Borowitz, this is a 24-hour journey. This isn't something where we shut down at 5 o'clock and everybody gets up and goes home and does all the fun little stuff and they come back the next day. Our staff is 24 hours. We're with participants 24 hours. We're with the children 24 hours. And any of you that have family and have kids, get the message. This is a big, big part of our community that we need to embrace. And so again, I want to thank all of you for being here today. You guys are top in your industries. You're beautiful people. And, I want to just share one little piece, if I could. There's we get letters all the time from the participants that come in, and we can spend all day just reading them, and they'll move you to tears. But just this little paragraph I want to read, it'll kind of bring in what a participant believes in. And my experience while staying in SafeSpace was amazing. I got to meet a log of strong and powerful women who have survived domestic violence. While my stay at SafeSpace, I got to learn things about myself that I wasn't sure I had in me. I just had to believe in myself. My advocate believes in me. Every one of us women is strong. We just need to believe in ourselves and love ourselves enough to make it through. I learned to stand up for myself and say enough is enough to that miserable low life. And please excuse my profanity, and because I know there's young ones out there listening, all right? But that's the power behind it and what she was working through. And she says, I am worthy of SafeSpace will truly always be in my heart, along with all the beautiful women I got to meet here. I can say that if I was ever looking for a part-time job, I would definitely love to work for SafeSpace and give back. So see, this is what we do. We change lives, we penetrate, we show a new pathway, we impact these lives. And when these women leave our transitional facility, they're on their way. Okay, they're on their way, maybe out of state with a new family. Maybe they'll come back and want to work within our organization, but we touch one, touches the next, touches the next. So that dollar, the 10, the 100, the 100,000, the $1 million gift, you don't know the deep and the depth and breadth of where that's going to go in the lives you're changing daily. So again, on behalf of SafeSpace, Jill Borowitz, myself, Dan Pimpo, the president of the board this year, we're on fire. We want to see you at the walks. It's a great organization. Get involved and give, and we appreciate all of you for watching today.